So today what I'd like to go over is a real quick introduction to a program that you can run from Chrome called Crucial Scan. Crucial is the website, but they have a scanner that you can use real easily on your computer. So if you just type in Crucial Scan Computer, that's all you need to type in, and then you'll see Crucial System Scanner. And then down here, if you click the agree to terms and then start your free scan, Crucial is actually scanning the computer right now to see what it'll scan the computer to see what my current system allows and what's currently stored. So once this finishes, it'll show a real easy screen to read. This is not hard to follow, but so right here, so it ran to check to just see how well my computer's running, and then it tells me the model number. The Inspiron 3793 is the computer that I have. This is the DELL Inspiron 5000. I believe it's got a Core i5. But this shows currently I have an 8 GB slot. I actually have two slots, as you can see, and one already has a card in it. It's an 8 GB card, and the other one is just open. There's nothing in it. Now, the maximum that I can hold is 16 and 16, so I can go from 18 to 32 total. So I could quadruple my RAM. That's what this is, the DRAM. And then Crucial will actually tell you, what card you have in the slot. It tells you that you've got two banks of one each, and then your maximum memory is 32 GB and your standard memory is 8 GB. And then down below it actually has compatible memory. So I've gone through all the different memories that they had and picked the highest speed. So the PC4 25,600 is the speed that I went with. It's already at a discount. If you go anywhere else, the standard price on this is about $41.99. They've got it down to $35.69, and I think if you order for the first time from them, I think there's another 15% off that you saw a little screen pop up, but I think that automatically goes on to the order once you go to clock out. So I paid about 72 bucks, I think, with the discount total with tax. Shipping's free over a certain amount. I'm not sure what the total is, but Crucial, I've been using Crucial for a long time, so it's a good product to use just to scan and then to buy your. Now you can take the part number from here and you could put that into a Google search, or you could go on Amazon and look that same part number up just to see if the price is any different. But Crucial actually had the best price, so I've actually already ordered my two replacements. So I've got my replacement cards, and it's got that same part number on there for the card itself. So I've got two memory cards. So the next step on this, so I'm going to go up to 32 GB total instead of the 8 that I had on there now. So on the actual body of the computer itself, we'll have to get into taking the screws out here around the outside edge. We might pop the tray out. Probably need to take all the cables out, take my little USB dongle out for my mouse, so that pretty much, I think in the end, the bottom casing is just going to pop off. So I've got a screwdriver. It's just a Phillips head screwdriver, and I've got a little plastic pry tool. The link for the pry tool, if you need these, will be in the description, but this is real flat on one end, and then the other end's just got a point on it. So this is just helpful for prying things apart and not tearing them up. If I was to use something metal, I'd probably end up scratching up the paint or scratch up the plastic. So just to verify, I'm going to go and show you, just do a Control-Alt-Delete and then go to the task manager. And then if you go over to the side over here, it has the performance, and then you can click on memory. And as you can see, this is kind of a bar graph of how high the memory is. The total is 8, so that shows that I do only have 8, and right now it's running at about 5.6 gigs out of 8. So just sitting. The computer's not processing anything as far as I know. There might be something open here, let's check. But the speed right now, just sitting, doing almost nothing. I have Chrome open, but I'm not watching any videos. I'm not downloading anything or uploading anything. So it's pretty much sitting at about, I'd say 5.6 is about 3/4 of the total. It's probably an easier way to do the math on that, but it's almost 3/4 of the total. It's saying the committed is 6.7 out of 8.5 gigabytes. So part of that is unusable. Anytime there's a little bit of extra over the top of the whole number. That's usually not used. It's usually already committed to certain things. But as you can see, this is pretty flat. It's not really moving. It's not going up and down. So this is just saying what's in use is 5.6 gigabytes, and my total is 8. So that just shows what Crucial scanned already was accurate. So let's switch over to taking this thing apart, and I'll get started on that now. Of course, I got to shut it down and there's a restart needed. Now what I'm going to do, one of the tricks to this is I'm going to make sure that I keep the lid open. I'm not going to close the lid, so I'm going to turn this down so that the lid actually holds it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the screws out. Now there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13 little black screws all the way around on the case. We need to get this CD drive out first, and that's this one screw here holds the CD drive in, so that's one of the first things we're going to take out. I'm not going to do all the work right now with the computer on. I'm going to let it finish this restart first. So there's the screw for the CD tray, so this can pop out now. Just pull straight out. That's where that screw was, so I'm going to take that screw and put it right back in that hole. And then just set this aside where it's not going to get bumped or dropped. So after taking that out, as you can see right here, there's actually 2 more little screws that hold the plastic edge of this on. So we're going to take those 2 screws out too. So some of these screws will actually come out, and I'm going to place them kind of around the outside edge of the workspace here, where they kind of line up with where they go on the computer, so because some of the screws are different lengths. So let's figure out how easy this is to take all this apart. Now you are going to want to use a small Phillips head screwdriver. A number 1 is the actual number for this. Just make sure whatever screwdriver you use has really good grip on the screws. You don't want to strip any of these out. Now some of these actually kind of hold in place and some of them don't. I don't have which ones stay and which ones don't memorized, but you kind of figure that out as you're taking it apart. Alright, I think they're all undone now. I'm gonna do these last 2 here. These little silver screws, they're pretty small. So now all the screws are out. I'm just going to tip this down and just see if any of these screws want to come out. So that one did. So that's not held in place. I need to remember that one too. But that looks like that's it. And that is it for that. So then the next step is going to be on the top here. I'm using a pry tool, and just come along this edge, all along the edge of the plastic here. Let me get this down a little bit lower. So all along the edge of the plastic here, that's where I'm putting the pry tool in, and that's just popping the two pieces apart, the inside and outside of the, as you can tell, it's just kind of popping apart. That's not abnormal. That sound, that's fine. That's just the two layers coming apart. So going all the way to the back, all the way around. All right, so now I have these two layers separated. So what I want to do is get to where I can get in here and pull this apart more. Make sure all the screws are completely undone. And I can see I'm pulling a little bit on this screw, so this screw is not quite all the way out. Alright, so that one needed to come out too. Maybe this one as well. Yep, alright. Like I said, some of these need some of these hold in place and some of these pop out. Alright, now the cover's off. I'm just going to leave the screws that are stuck in here on it. I'm not going to take them all off. Set that out of the way. And now we can see where our memory is, which is right here. So that's that. Sorry, let me move this up. So there's where that, this is your battery. This is the cooling fan and the thermostat. And then you've got this is that memory bank. This is the one that's empty right here, and this is the one that has the 8 GB card. And so I'm gonna have my two cards, get my two cards out. So there's my replacement. Now, as you can see, there's a tab right here, and it's not perfectly centered. See where that little notches, not a tab but a notch, there's a notch right there, and that notch needs to match up with where the notch is in this actual card holder here. So where the card is held in place here, this is a real simple, there's just two little tabs on either side, so you just press the tabs out of the way and then the card pops out. So that's how simple that is to take out. That's the old card. The old 8 GB. The old 8 GB card is now out, and the same orientation that the old card was in, like this, that's the orientation of the new card. As you can see, the new card is a 16 GB card, and so this is going to go right here. You always start by putting the kind of like a Nintendo game, put the cartridge in first and then just push it down and it'll snap itself in place, and the little tabs are holding this now. So all I have to do now is put in the other side. So this one actually goes this way, but same thing as the other side was, just get it all the way in and then push down, and that's it. So the computer memory has now been upgraded. I don't have any use for the old memory anymore, but I'm just going to get this out of the way so we can start working on putting this back together again. Same as we took it off, we're just taking the cover and just sliding it back into place, and we're going to work around from the opposite way we popped it apart. We're just going to pop it all back together again. So that's all popped back together. Now we'll go around to the screws that are already here and just tighten these back up again. You don't want to over tighten them, or you don't really want to crack the, you don't really want to crack this out. Let's see. So these are all the ones that were already on, just stayed on, didn't pop out. And then I've got the ones on the table here for where they go. I've got the screws on the actual table here that line up with where they go back in. As you can see, these are different length screws, so you need to pay attention to that. So there's a short one that goes here. That's where the CD drive is, so a big long screw can't fit all the way through there. Now it seems like most of the other screws that came out are pretty much all the same length, so I don't really have to pay too much attention to putting it back together. They are probably all the same thread size too. So finish putting all these in. Of course, the one that's missing right here in this hole is because it's the CD drive holder. I'm gonna jump in a step. Hold on. Put these silver. Don't forget to put these little silver screws back in here. They are small and they are easy to drop. So I'm gonna try to keep a hand on it. See, I already dropped one. Let's grab that one out of there in a second. So if I can get this up to where it goes, get that screwed down, get the other one up. It actually fell down in the CD drive holder. Try that again. All right, so that's done. Get the CD drive back in. Get the screw. Alright, so all the way around, all my screws are in. Everything seems tight, everything seems snapped in. So let's power it back up and see where we're at. Alright, so I figured I'd show you this real quick. So when it pops up the first time, it's telling me there's an alert because the memory was changed, which it was. So we'll just continue. Alright, so the computer's fired back up again, and then as we did before, we can go into the task manager and then come over here to the side where the performance is, and then look at the memory. Now it's showing that the total memory is 32 gigabyte, which it is because we added two 16 gigabyte cards. Now the in use is 3.8. That'll probably go up once some processes start. I don't have Chrome open like I had before, so that's a little bit of memory that's not being used. So now you can see the difference in how much available RAM there is to run things. As it was before, it was almost 3/4 of the way full just opening Chrome. So now if I open something like Chrome here, then that number starts going up 4.8. We're at 3.4, so If I was to run some video or play a game on here, that memory is going to be used so much more than just sitting stagnant not doing much. So we're at 5.4 already, and that's not really running anything, that's just opening Chrome. So if I were to open, like I've got a program for editing, that would be something that would take up a good bit of memory. So opening something like this, I'd expect that number to continue climbing as it is. And that's just opening the program. I'm not actually rendering anything or making any video or anything right now. So that job's done. Not a hard task. Doesn't take a lot to take this thing apart. It's real easy with the pry tool. You don't have to worry about scratching or breaking anything using something metal or something that's too thick to try to get into this edge to pop this apart. So that job is done. And if you have any questions or anything, just put it in the comment section. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. As always, like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. Just doing a little techie nerd thing out in the garage today while I had a little bit of a break. So I will see you again next time.